Good morning, friends. Welcome to my day in the life vlog. This week I've been meditating on being still and coming into God's presence and just sitting quietly with God. Lately, honestly, I've been really overwhelmed. I've had so much going on with my to-do list and just feeling really stressed. And the Lord has been reminding me that it is good to be still and just sit in His presence and spend time with Him. I love what Jesus says in Matthew 11. It says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." In those verses, it says twice that Jesus will give us rest. If you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious or stressed, know that Jesus desires to give you rest. He wants you to come into His presence and sit quietly with Him. He's not waiting for us to be perfectly organized or have it all together. He just wants us to come and be still in His presence. Girls, let's not put our busyness for God above spending time with God. It's Jesus that fills up our cup. It's so easy to go to other things, social media, family members, our spouse, our kids, or whoever you go to. It's so easy to go to other things other than God to fill up our cup and to give us rest and rejuvenation. But it's Jesus who gives the peace and rest that we so desperately need. I also love what Psalm 73 verse 28 says. It says, "But it is good for me to draw near to God. I have put my trust in the Lord God, that I may declare all your works." So girls, let's draw near to the Lord today. I have a friend and she always says, God's got this. God's got your back. God's got this. So let's lean into that truth today. I think most of you girls are new to my channel and don't really know me, so I thought it would be fun to do a Let's Chat series of questions. I just have like 5 or 6 questions I would love to answer for you guys, just so you can get to know me a little better. I have my coffee. If you guys want to grab tea or coffee, go get that and we'll get into it. So the first question, where am I from and where do I live? So I'm actually Canadian. I was born in Ontario. And I now live in San Jose, California, right in the heart of Silicon Valley. So it's like a farm girl meets city kind of situation. I actually really miss the farm. I don't really like the city. I grew up on a family farm, so we had dairy cows to start off with, and then my parents switched to chickens. I love farming. If I could do something other than what I'm doing right now, I would farm. I just love farming. But currently God has us here in the city, so we will see. We are exploring other options of getting out of, not necessarily Bay Area. Steven's job is here in the Bay Area. Leaving isn't really an option, but we are praying and considering other options like outskirts of Bay Area, where things are a little cheaper, but we will, right now God has us here. What have I done in the past for work? What is my career now? So I actually, in Canada, I did a lot of agricultural jobs. I worked for several other dairy farms. I really enjoyed that. I was in charge of the calf barn. Dairy cows are probably my favorite. It's interesting because cows all have a different personality, and you would never guess that just by looking at them, but they all behave a little differently, and they all have their own little quirks about them. And so I just loved working at the dairy barn. I also worked at an apple orchard, and that was fun. I was there for several seasons, pruning in the spring and picking apples in the fall. So, and that was with a friend from church, and we worked together with another friend from church, just lots of friends from church. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I also worked in a factory for many years that made car parts for Toyota. It was not the most enjoyable job, but it allowed me, I was through a temp agency, so it allowed me to go back and forth to Romania for several months at a time, which is exactly what I needed. So the Lord provided that job specifically for that season. Now I am a business owner and entrepreneur. I've been doing that for like 5 years now. So started that in Canada and moved it over to the United States here. I love being my own boss. I love being able to create my own things and do my own things. The Lord has definitely given me a heart for business. Next question. How did I meet my husband? I met my husband, Stephen, in Romania. We were both on a missions trip at the time. And once we were done the missions trip, we kind of lost contact with each other. We were Facebook friends, but we lost contact with each other. And kind of out of the blue, several years later, early in COVID, I messaged Stephen, and I wanted to be really intentional about my friendship with him, and it kind of turned into a relationship, I guess is the easiest way to describe it. So we've been married now for almost 3.5 years already. What are some of my hobbies? Music is a big part of my life. I really like singing. I actually took voice lessons for a while, and I sang in a choir in Canada. I now sing in the San Jose Symphonic Choir here in San Jose. And that was I just started that last year. So we are doing Elijah right now. I'm really excited about that. Going through the Old Testament story of Elijah. I also play violin, but I just don't have time these days so much. So every once in a while, I'll still pick up my violin. I also like learning languages. So in high school, I took French and German all the way through grade 12. And then when I was in Romania, I actually picked up quite a bit of Romanian living there. I was there a number of different trips for like a total of 6 months or so, but I was able to pick up a lot. So if you guys speak French, German, or Romanian, definitely put a comment below. My German's really rusty right now, but I am working at refreshing my French. I actually use Duolingo for that. So Duolingo definitely has limitations, especially if you don't pay for anything. It's not like Rosetta Stone or anything, but it is allowing me to refresh kind of like my vocab and things like that. All right, and one last question. What are some things that I really love? For treats, I really like chocolate and peanut butter. So anything with chocolate and peanut butter, whether it's ice cream or Reese's Pieces, anything like that, I love chocolate and peanut butter. Breakfast is also my favorite meal. So if any of my friends invite me out for brunch, I am all over that. I like coffee and tea. I like dogs and cats. And I really like early mornings and late nights. Although I say I probably like early mornings a little bit better, mostly because it's quiet. So those are all the questions that I have. If you guys have any more questions, definitely feel free to put those in the comments. If there's enough, I could probably do another video like this if you want to know more about me, or you have other just life questions, Bible questions, definitely feel free to ask those questions in the comments. So I need to take a break from work now. I've been practicing music for the last hour or so. I actually found it difficult to practice. I use Cyberbase to practice, and they have a whole bunch of major classical works on there that you can divide up by part, so you can get just your part and practice your part. But it's very straight on the time, like a metronome. So I find it really difficult to practice because there's no ebbing and flowing with the musician. It doesn't ebb and flow with the musicality of it. And so when I was practicing Cast Thy Burden Upon the Lord, there should be this ebb and flow, this give and take of the time, that it doesn't strictly adhere to, a quarter note equals one kind of thing. And it ebbs and flows with the conductor, with the orchestra and the choir. And so I was kind of struggling because it was just literally beat by beat, like a metronome. And it was there's no musicality to this, and I want to put musicality in it. So the musician in me was freaking out a little bit, but it is good because it helps me learn the notes and the proper timing of it, which is important too. So I'm going to grab lunch and I am going to get out for a walk. It is just lovely out there right now, sunny and 75-ish, 25 Celsius. So it's just a gorgeous day today. So I want to get out and get a walk. Hey girls, I'm wearing my Fearfully and Wonderfully Made shirt from Eternal Light Co. And I just wanted to come on here and just say that God has created us for a purpose. We are, that's sunny. That's really sunny, guys. God has created us for a purpose, and He has made us. He created us in our mother's womb, and it's so incredible to think that God has a specific plan and purpose for each of us, and He created us. He knew us before we were born. He knew us before we were in our mother's womb. And so if you're struggling with just body image or anything like that, know that you are loved by God. Know that He has made you fearfully and wonderfully made, created in your mother's womb. Ladies, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to continue to create content for you. If you guys have topics or any questions that you want me to address, anything from the Bible or different video ideas, let me know. Put those in the comments. And also, if you have any prayer requests, I would love to pray for you guys. So be sure to put those in the comments as well. I'll catch you in the next video.